The tank is officially on hold as the Habs smoke the Washington Capitals for their first win at home against the Caps since 2018, and Yoel Armia gets maybe the most unexpected hat trick of the season. So we'll talk about all that on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier, and we are almost at 5,000 subs, so just a quick reminder, if you haven't hit that button, look down there now. Is it red? Click it, because we have lots of awesome videos coming now and in the off season, so we'd really appreciate it. Jesse, a lot of people are saying, we gotta lose. We're in a close race with Arizona for that 5th and 6th draft position. And Montreal, if they want to stay in solidly in that 5th spot, they can't afford big wins like this. But you know what? I don't care. I say if we can have some fun hockey games, it makes a difference of 1% in that odds to get number 1 overall pick. If you can get a fun hockey game like this, Galley scoring or Mia getting a hat trick, I say you got to take it.
And we deserve it after a long year like that. Habs fans, we've been sticking close to our team, through thick and thin. So really nice. Just the energy at the Bell Center was just amazing. You could tell that they were just wanting to cheer on the team. We're hearing the Olays. So I think after a long season, just well-deserved for everybody, Coach Marty included.
Yeah, the effort tonight was off the charts. I don't know what it was, but from the opening puck drop, Montreal was out shooting Washington. And yes, Washington had that one goal in the first period. Strome took a nice shot, scored a goal on a bit of a 2-on-1 break off a turnover, a bad bounce in the neutral zone. But I mean, realistically, Jesse, the Habs, I think this whole game, minus maybe in that second half of the third when Washington started to get some more momentum back, I thought the Habs truly outplayed this Washington team that was a playoff contender for most of the season, minus maybe the last few weeks, maybe the month.
That's so true, Josh. And we could see it during kind of the second half of that first period where we started to see the game really start to speed up. Mm-hmm. And that's where I really thought to myself, okay, this is great. Montreal's really imposing the type of game that they want to play. And from there, we just didn't really take our foot off of the pedal. And I thought a really big component, a really big driver of our play tonight, again, was Raphael Harvey-Pinard. A noticeable difference with him being in tonight's game with just the energy, but also the creativity is what really stood out for me tonight. Doing these nice little chip plays, not giving up, these little self-passes, he's really showing to me why he's going to be so important to this team next year, just for not only the energy, but also the skill that he brings.
Yeah, for sure. There were some, not only plays with the puck, some interesting ones where he'd be stuck. And he's like, I'm going to have to go into a board battle. And just like little shoulder fakes to try and get the defender going one way as he ducks off the screen and goes the other way. It's crazy. He's doing these amazing things. And another thing, he missed the Habs last game. And the energy level with the forwards between games with him and without him, it's so drastically different. Something we used to say a lot about Brendan Gallagher. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. And he really, like you said, spurred the offense. Him and also, I think, Mike Matheson, who had 3 assists tonight as he just continues his phenomenal 2023 season. As we were saying, Jesse, I think if Mike Matheson played on a big market team, even if he played on the Leafs, they'd be touting him as maybe a top 10, 15 defenseman based, at least offensively, based on some of the stuff we're seeing. The difference he makes to the pace of games, to the energy on the ice is absurd. There was a play where he went in all alone and started to play in the offensive zone. His D partner took a shot, and he was the one there ready to tap in a rebound that unfortunately didn't go his way. I mean, he's just, I feel like we talk about him every game, but is there really, ever too much Matheson talk?
No, not at all. And that's right. He's the one to often give us that momentum when we need it. It's that very play that you described, Josh. This is what's really getting us in the game, getting our wheels turning. So just absolutely amazing to see just, what he's bringing to this team. He is a phenomenal defenseman. I'm just in my notes. I'm just keep on writing about Matheson just because he's playing so amazing, all over the ice all the time. And the way he can get in the offensive zone and then stop on a dime and find that sweet spot and then get a quick one-timer off and everything else, and just being a catalyst for play all over the ice, getting 3 points again tonight. And just the fact that he's consistently able to do this, logging so much ice time, playing so well beyond any of our beliefs, it's just really, really amazing to see.
Yeah, really awesome. He's getting a chance to thrive in a very low-pressure environment right now where they're not trying to win. And maybe, who knows, maybe that's exactly what he's needed. Right? He played for Florida a while ago, and things didn't work out there. Went to a Penguins team that's kind of perennially a playoff team where there's some pressure, and maybe this is what he needed to revamp himself to turn into this Matheson we see today. But you mentioned he had 3 points, Jesse. Someone else tonight who had 3 points, Yoel Armia, and they were all goals. He had a hat trick, his first hat trick since I think they said 2018 or 2019 against the Rangers. Armia was phenomenal. He almost had it all in the second period. He had that early second period snipe after a Suzuki goal that we'll talk about in a bit, I'm sure. But let's focus on Armia. That nice snipe from kind of between the hash marks, top shelf, perfect. And then not that long after, Gallagher scores off a beautiful between the legs feed from Drouin. But there was a set play off the faceoff where it goes back to Matheson. He kind of makes a fake, draws the defense in, slides over to Armia, who absolutely picks the corner on a clapper and then seals it up with an empty netter. He's a guy who's had a rough season, a lot of injury trouble. Early in the season, it was like, oh my God, can he just say he could not get it going. But man, what a feel-good story to see him finally spot his second career hat trick, you know?
Absolutely. Nice to see him on that first line getting rewarded, playing with some good teammates in Suzuki and HP as well. Definitely playing really great. And we did see him get that chance early on in the game, Josh, and where it did go wide, right? And we're all thinking ourselves as Habs fans like, oh no, deja vu.
Yep.
We've definitely seen this before. But what the difference was in Joel Armia's game tonight was that he didn't get discouraged. He didn't let that early opportunity, even though, for very much of the season, it hasn't really gone his way. He's one of those players that has so much skill. And once he does get involved in the game, like it's often if like I always joke around with my friends, like if Joel Armia scores 1 goal, he's going to at least score 2 in the game.
Yep.
Because when he gets hot, he gets hot. When he's cold, but just nice to see him kind of keep that confidence up, and really get rewarded. It has to feel good for him at the end of this year.
Yeah, I think he had another 2-goal game earlier this year. You're exactly right. It felt like it. Yeah, I remember earlier in the second period, that's when that play happened. The announcers thought it tipped a stick, but no, he just fired it, like just missed point blank. So, but no, he managed to revamp himself later in the game and got the hattie, which is awesome to see. One thing I wanted to talk about too, Jesse, is the penalty kill and the defense tonight. Defense has been a sore point for us recently, talking about these game recaps, but tonight I thought it looked good, especially on the penalty kill against a Capitals team who notoriously who's going to go down as maybe the best goal scorer in NHL history in Alex Ovechkin. I thought it was funny because they were just playing like Matheson was just on Ovechkin. It was just basically, here, play a 4-on-3. That's fine. I'm just going to stand on Ovechkin. Ovechkin was laughing. It was great. But not only that, it worked. Because at one point they tipped a pass. Joel Edmundson banks it off the boards for a Suzuki breakaway to tie the game at 1. And just a filthy deke undresses Darcy Kemper. It was insane. The penalty kill tonight and that Suzuki goal, Jesse, talk me through what you were thinking.
Well, it was just amazing to see. And, definitely I thought that, our special teams, that was the key to success tonight, and then just Suzuki making a great heads-up play where Edmundson as well making a very, very, very difficult bounce pass off the boards to Suzuki. And then Nick Suzuki's in these goalies' heads now. They know he's so good on the breakaways where he's kind of faking the chip shot, kind of going in deep, wide, but still kind of maintaining control of that puck to really just score a beautiful, beautiful breakaway goal. And like you said, Josh, that was definitely how we won tonight's game is the penalty kill. And it really makes me excited for next year because I definitely want to see Raphael Harvey-Pinard and Nick Suzuki on that penalty kill, as a staple, because they are so dangerous. They're going to make other teams so worried every time they're out there. Of course, they did have a great strategy as well. That was a big key to their success tonight. To even not just, the penalty kill, but eventually winning the game. Of, like you said, that strategy on Ovechkin. I'd really like to see that going forward. Identifying the number one key option and saying, okay, beat us in other ways, but absolutely just to get back to Raphael Harvey-Pinard and Nick Suzuki, what a tandem on the penalty kill. Guys tenacious, but with such skill at the same time. I'm really interested to see how this is going to look like in the future.
Yeah, I mean, if Jake Evans is your second penalty kill, center, you're in good shape. Evans too was great on the face-off dot tonight, but Harvey-Pinard and Suzuki, there's some chemistry there. Harvey Pinard plays well with whoever he's playing with, it seems like. We've kind of said this a bunch. No matter what line you put him on, he'll find a way to fit in and thrive in that role. He's like a chameleon. It's amazing. You put him anywhere you want, and he is just doing work, and it's awesome to see. And even the defense tonight, Jesse, like we've said, it's been a bit of an issue, but they played well tonight. I thought Kovacevic was probably, like, I doubt anyone's mentioning his name after tonight's game, but I thought he played very solidly. A couple great sticks, especially on the penalty kill, where he gets some looks, some nice tips on cross-ice passes. I suppose we should also probably talk about what's going to go down as the single most forgotten goal of the season, because most people had this game turned off. Mike Hoffman with about a minute left. The Capitals had essentially given up. They had scored an empty net goal while down 4-1 to make it 4-2. But then, of course, Armia gets the empty netter. Then with about a minute left, the Habs kept getting some chances, a Rem Pitlick break, Pezzetta. But then Mike Hoffman, just kind of off a forecheck, just fires it, kind of just comes to him, doesn't even really look at the net, just fires it, and it is like perfectly in the top corner. I thought he's been playing very well since his jaw injury, that horrible cross-check from AJ Greer, but yeah, I don't know. Do you think that might go down as the most forgotten goal of the season, or is it just me? Because I feel like a lot of people, even me, I almost had the game turned off when it happened.
Yeah, no, it was nice to see just at the end that we're not kind of giving up and everything else like that, mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's when we've kind of had a little bit snake bitten earlier on in the year, kind of getting the back of the net. Just nice to see that it's kind of coming our way on this one, So definitely nice to see that Mike Hoffman, that in probably some of his last couple games with the Montreal Canadiens, mm-hmm. I do agree he's been having a strong showing.
Yeah, you got to think this is the last couple games for a number of guys probably on this roster. As the announcer was saying, Brian Mudryk's last game calling hockey on TSN this season. So farewell to him for this season. Did a great job. Thank you to them. I mean, and the season is almost at an end. It's crazy to say, Jesse. Not too many more games. The season's over in well, now it's a week from today, I believe. So kind of crazy to think about, but it's been a ride. We're going to be covering every single game the rest of the way, and we hope you guys stick with us. But that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Help us hit 5,000. It'd be really, really appreciated. I'm Josh Gosse, for my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.